For a second and let's talk. Yo, DJ, roll that beautiful champagne footage.
For your invitation, Sham, to experience the clink, the chaos, and all of the empowerment secret you desire. There's a secret in the bottle, the bottle, the bottle. I just can't get a little clink with chaos, you know we got some. Hella hood with class, baby, I'm doing one. Come sip and savor so we can spill some. And if you lost your way, we'll leave the light on. There's a secret in the bottle, the bottle, the bottle. I just can't get enough.
Champagne secrets. FizzFam, Confidante. Y'all, so I was just thinking, right, that maybe while we're discussing Diddy and this case, maybe we shouldn't be talking about sex and champagne roses. Just maybe we might need to find another song just when we discuss Diddy. How y'all doing today? If this is your first time here, hi, I'm the Empress, and you are joining me for grown discussions and bubbly banter. Over here, we get classy with a twist, a little clink with chaos with a side of charm. So if you're ready to sip, savor, and spill, baby, come on in. Grab your favorite glass of bubbly. Tonight I got my Coke. Kick your feet up on one of those chase lounges over there. Say hi to a few people in your chat, and let's get ready to get into it, because y'all listen, this Diddy thing is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So much has come across the desk of the Empress. Honey, do y'all see this desk? Y'all, these desks are giving me life. Now, I'm not an Apple fan, but y'all see this computer screen? Y'all, courtesy of OBS. So y'all listen, do the first part of our show over here, which is going to be the actual show. And once the show has concluded, we're going to go over to StreamYard because OBS hasn't incorporated being able to really have a panel yet. So we're going to go over to StreamYard and do an open panel discussion about everything that we discussed today in the show. All right, y'all ready? So, another victim has allegedly come forward in the whole Diddy situation. We're going to go back and finish the video from yesterday that we started listening to with Jag, and we're going to hear what Vlad had to say about it, and this other attorney who had been trying to get the attention of the authorities regarding Diddy for a while now and was disregarded. So she's also on that interview, and we're going to listen to that interview as well. So then when we're finished, like I said, we're going to go over to StreamYard and we're going to have a champagne conversation about it. I'm going to drop the link, and everybody who wants to come up and chat and give your opinion about this case and what you think the end game is, you'll be able to do so as soon as we end this live and journey on over to StreamYard, all right? Before we get into that, you guys know it's time for our positivity and our affirmations. So what I want you to do is take those glasses and raise them high in the air. And let's get ready for our affirmations. Are you ready? All right, let's talk. All of that stress, drama, and mess you've been letting take up space in your head, trust me, it's not worth it. Whether the petty drama, the people who don't clap when you win, the energy vampires, people who only show up when they need something, or that random chaos trying to throw you off your game. None of it deserves your energy. You're too valuable to be investing in anything that doesn't align with your purpose. Every second you give to negativity is a second stolen from your dream. Let's be real. Are those distractions going to help you grow, help you succeed, help you live your best life? No. So why waste time? Cut the dead weight, love, and watch your whole vibe elevate. The only thing worth your focus is your future, because that's where the magic happens. Now I need you to repeat after me. And it's the same affirmation we had from before, because we're going to continue to use it until you get it. I'm done entertaining distractions because my future is calling, and it's serving champagne and VIP access to greatness. Don't that sound good? Now here's to you, Confidante, for you are worth it. Let's toast. So y'all listen, get this thumbnail up here. We are going to get into these stories, baby, and up on this roster, we also have the queen herself. Y'all, because it looks like, in light of everything that's been coming out about Diddy, it looks like the BeeHive may be turning on the beekeeper. What do y'all think? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the interview with this new case that has come out. And I want to know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. So make sure you join in the conversation in the comments. Make sure when you come in, please hit that like and subscribe button. It's free. And let's get ready to get into it. So first, we're going to revisit the interview with Dad so that we can get the end of the video. Hold on 1 second. I think I stopped it. course, there would be one thing that wouldn't go right, right? Talk to each other in the chat while I get this figured out really quick.
Well, I'm joined now by the host of Vlad TV, DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad, I mean, it's pretty horrifying listening to these testimonies. What did you make of what you just heard?
Well, Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really co-sign anything that she says. I've never had her on my show, and I don't have any plans to have her on my show.
You don't believe her?
She's got an album in 20 years, and a lot of this stuff is just stuff she's heard, things she's making up, and so forth. I'm not saying that there aren't serious things that Diddy may have done, but yeah, I can't co-sign anything that Jaguar Wright is saying, if that's your question.
Well, I mean, obviously, since we last spoke, there have now been these charges against Diddy, which are incredibly serious. You didn't think at the time we last spoke that he was likely to face come to this?
I'm not surprised, because I feel that law enforcement in general is reactionary. I think that when you look at high-profile individuals, their arrests, indictments usually come after a documentary, a big TV show, or in Diddy's case, there was this huge lawsuit that Cassie filed that everyone got to see all the details and all the attention that came to it. So yeah, it wasn't a surprise that it actually happened, because you've seen this happen over and over again. R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, all the attention that he got, and then now Diddy. So yeah, I mean, this is ultimately the world that we live in. But he'll have his day in court, and his lawyer said that he's not going to take a plea deal, because I think a plea deal at this point is probably going to be very heavy-handed, probably 20 years plus. So it makes sense for him to go to court. But we'll ultimately see what happens. Because we haven't really seen, apart from some of the funny stuff of, oh, there's 1 million bottles of lube that they found there. I'm sorry, 1,000 bottles of lube and so forth. We have yet to really see what the evidence is. And I think once we see the actual evidence, then people will actually formulate an opinion on what's happening right now.
Do you think there's a lot of people in the rap world in particular who are pretty fearful right now of where this may all lead? Is it a bit like the Epstein scandal, do you think?
I don't really think so, because, I mean, ultimately, everyone wanted to go to Diddy's white parties when they were happening. If I got an invite, I would go. But there's a party within a party. There's the actual party where the big celebrities go to, the Howard Sterns and the Leonardo DiCaprios and so forth. You never hear of any of them really being involved in any of this stuff. They go home, at 2, 3 o'clock a.m. And then there's the private parties that seem to involve the sex workers and probably certain types of people that are kind of in an inner circle. No. And we'll see if those names ultimately come out or not. I think that when it comes to a situation like the feds, cooperating is a very big thing. And I think if Diddy cooperates and gives up some big names of actual crimes that they committed, that'd be a way of actually, lessening the amount of time that he does, or possibly even walking away.
I mean, what had you heard about Diddy over the years? Obviously, people knew he had parties. They knew he was a big rap star and so on. But the nature of this kind of thing. I mean, I'm asking because when I watched, for example, I met Diddy a couple of times. He was always perfectly charming to me. But I've met a lot of people who are charming and turned out to be monsters. The video that came out of showing him beating up his then girlfriend in a hotel corridor was so shocking that when I watched it, I remember thinking, well, this guy is capable of anything. I mean, a man that would do that, who's that famous, who would do that to a woman in a hotel corridor, public hotel corridor, if he's prepared to be that violent in public, knowing there might be cameras around, he's prepared to do pretty much anything, was my conclusion. I mean, what did you hear about him over the years?
Yeah, I mean, that tape was horrific. And after our interview that we did with Roger Bonds, who I helped to bring onto the show, I did my own interview with Roger Bonds. It was a very in-depth, I think, two-hour interview where he goes into actually witnessing a lot of women that were physically abused. by Diddy. I mean, not only Cassie, of course, which you saw multiple times, but Kim Porter. He was on a trip where Kim Porter got her nose broken allegedly by Diddy and flew in a plastic surgeon to fix it. There was a personal chef that Diddy beat up. I actually heard voicemails of her describing it. This wasn't even something that she wanted to come publicly with. There was other women as well that I got details on. So I think that Diddy has a long history of violence towards women, but also of men, because there's also the Steve Stout incident. If you remember that whole situation, he was in a music video with Nas, Hate Me Now, and there was a scene where Diddy was on the cross like Jesus, and I guess he went to Steve Stout afterwards and said that he wants to take that part out. That part wasn't taken out, so Diddy and his entourage show up at Steve Stout's office and they beat him with a champagne bottle, which they ultimately settled out of court for. So I think there's a lot of violence that has happened around him, and I think at this point it's just catching up to him.
There's lots of rumor mills about him being secretly gay or bisexual or whatever. I mean, I don't care, but do you think there's much credence to those?
I mean, it's hard to say. I have heard, because remember, for example, the Wendy Williams situation. She was on the radio in New York and she said that she had photos of Diddy in
there's a huge government
sort, and I had someone actually explain to me what that photo was after the fact. And Diddy came in and threatened to sue the radio station unless she was fired. And she was fired, and she had to go to Philly for, I think, 5 years or something like that. So there was that. I'm not sure how true it is, because it was just a photo, and a photo, could mean a lot of different things. I mean, the fact that he's a cuckold, that he likes to masturbate while watching women that he's with have sex with other men. I don't know. Is that gay? Is that bisexual? Is that just being a cuckold? It's hard to say. It's not something that I'm actually into. But I'm sure it blurs the lines between homosexuality and bisexuality somewhat. But I don't think he's exclusively gay because he has a lot of children. It's hard to really say, and it ultimately doesn't really matter. And, I've talked about this in my interviews. I think if he came forward and said, hey, I'm a bisexual man, I think a lot of the jokes, like the no Diddy jokes and so forth, will kind of ease down, and people might actually be a little understanding of his situation a little bit more, as opposed to him denying it. But ultimately, who knows? I have no idea.
We've talked, people have talked a lot in the last few years that it's unusual that so few people in the music business have been held to account under the Me Too campaign umbrella in the way that other industries were held to account. Could this be, following R. Kelly and others, could this be a tipping point where there might be a lot of other rap stars in particular, perhaps with very checkered backgrounds, lots of rumors about them, could all start falling like dominoes?
It's hard to say. Like I said in the beginning, it's very reactionary. I think if there is a lot of media attention over somebody, there's a documentary about them, there's movies about them and so forth, I think that ends up getting on law enforcement's radar, and then you will see things kind of escalate very quickly. It's hard to say. R. Kelly was extremely high profile, and there will be others, but I don't think that the music industry is really having less situations than other industries. I mean, every industry has certain situations and they're high profile, and there's a bunch of other stuff that kind of falls below the radar.
Finally, DJV, what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think Diddy will ever come out of prison?
That's a tough one, because I was really shocked that he didn't get a bond. I thought for sure that he'd be sitting in his mansion right now awaiting trial, but he's sitting in a jail cell right now. And it could be years before this actually makes it to trial. So it proves that things are very, very serious on his end. And if you look at the R. Kelly situation, he got, I believe, 30 years. This may fall along the same lines, except the only difference is when I looked into the R. Kelly case, a lot of the convictions were based on underage girls. You've heard a few spatterings of underage accusations, but in general, it seemed like most of the women were of legal age in the Diddy case. So I'm thinking it won't be as severe as it is with as it is with R. Kelly. But for someone like Diddy, who's in his mid-50s, he doesn't want to spend 5, 10, 20 years in prison. No. He wants to get out. He wants to keep it moving. So I think he will get out of prison at one point. It's just hard to say, right now what it's going to be.
Yeah. It is. It's a fascinating story. DJ Vat, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm joined now by Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, who's a lawyer for one of Diddy's alleged victims. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. There are so many people coming forward now with allegations about Diddy. What do you think about the scale of this case?
Well, before I get into that, I kind of want to address the prior two panelists. First.
Now, this is going to be the lawyer that I was telling you guys about, who had a client come out years ago about instances and occurrences with Diddy, and it was never pursued. Okay, so I want you guys to listen to her. If at any time you cannot hear her, let me know. Or if the audio or anything goes off, please let me know. Drop it in the chat, because I do see the chat live. If at any time my audio goes out, please let me know so that we can fix it right away. All right? Let's listen to what she has to say.
With Mrs. Jaguar White, she said a lot of things that were very jarring in her explanation of what she saw and had firsthand accounts on. My concern for her, she's saying a lot of things that could be considered libelous.
Right.
And I would suggest that she contacts an attorney, if only to vet the information she has or purports to have from other victims. At least they can protect her, and then they can also do their due diligence, the attorneys, to make sure that the information she's receiving is accurate outside of the things that she knows and may have proof of. I was very concerned about some of the things that she had said in her prior segment. I also want to address Mr. Vlad, who I know to be a culture vulture, who takes from the Black community and doesn't give back and puts artists in situations where then they are indicted by the police. And he's very much so what we call police type investigation in the Black community. And for him to repudiate what Mrs. Wright has said, I thought was completely out of line. He can say he doesn't agree, which is fine, but for him to be someone who constantly uses the Black community and uses them as a means for his platform, I thought that was very inconsiderate and unprofessional. Now, to get to your question that you asked of me regarding the victims, there are victims coming out every day, even someone who contacted me last night. So, and it's only standing to be more individuals coming out. I do talk to some of the other attorneys who represent victims that we already have known because they filed cases, who have additional victims who plan to come forward, and they plan to file cases against very soon. So it's only a matter of how many more are going to come out, and it seems to be, it'll be very many more.
You've said that you've been contacted regarding the sale of one of the Diddy freak-off tapes, and that it features a very high-profile celebrity. What can you tell us about that?
So actually, I recently was contacted by one of my business partners, who's also an attorney, who said to me, well, why are we not writing the demand letter to try to do the catch and kill? And I said, well, if you want to do it, then I'll connect you and you can essentially do it. He was also concerned about wanting to protect the other person who was in the film, mainly because I've known about this for about 3.5 weeks to about a month. I've been communicating with these people who purport to have that videotape. And it wasn't until Thursday night that they outright said, can you write on your letterhead a letter to the individual who's also in the tape and see if they're interested in a catch and kill? And is that something, we'll give you X amount of percentage of it. And at the time I was like, I don't think I want to be involved in this, but I hadn't had time to process. But the other attorney I'm speaking of, he's pretty much been in the know the entire time since I first got.
Now, hold on a second, because I just saw Zach's comment, right? Freak off is nasty work, but y'all, come on now. Let's be real. Let's think back to when we was younger in our wild days. If the walls could talk, What would those walls say that we were involved in? The difference is when you're doing it forcibly, when you're using power and control to make people bend to your will in order to comply to whatever your twisted sexual fantasies are. That's where the problem comes in. Cause we ain't gonna act like we ain't been a part of no freak-offs before. We not gonna do that. We gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This generation of kids doesn't know anything about the basement parties, the red light parties in the basement, the black light parties in the basement, the old school after sets, not the after sets in the club, the after set in somebody's house. Come on now, let's talk about it. The problem is, too many people out here are power hungry, and they are using their power to control individuals and force individuals to do what they want them to do. That's the problem with all of this. The bigger problem was it was done for so long and it was unchecked. That's the bigger problem in it.
Get Zoom, forget online.
And we're pursuing now a meeting with the three of us for us to broker, I guess, a situation where we'll have certain guarantees that once we make the representations to the person in the tape, that we have some level of assurances that this is a valid tape.
And just to be clear, two thoughts about this. One, is it a household name that we're talking about here? And secondly, are they engaged in any criminality from what you understand?
Household name, very much so. More of a household name than Mr. Combs.
Wow,
and
really?
Criminality, they are engaged in pornography. They're not doing anything illegal per se. I can't say that well, I'll say this. My concern was that I could not verify the age of the individual. And so that was my concern about not having anything sent to me and viewing it in the way that I did via stills, via FaceTime video. So I didn't want to have anything in my phone because my issue is we can't determine if this person is 17 to 21.
Right. Fascinating. It's been reported there could be a class action with over 50 alleged victims of Diddy. It also feels like there could be a lot more than that. Do you think, when you look at this case now, that he's ever going to come out of prison?
I do not think Mr. Combs will get out. I was not surprised that he did not get bond. I was saying from the beginning that I was fairly certain, due to my experience in the legal field, that he would not be getting bond and that he would be there until his court case. I also feel as if having a trial would not be in his best interest, and I'll explain why. Everything that comes out in that criminal trial will be used by not only me, but every other civil litigator who has a civil case against Mr. Combs. Everything that the federal government proves beyond a reasonable doubt, because they have a higher criteria to meet than we do. It's the preponderance of the evidence in civil court. So if we have the federal government, if you will, doing all of our heavy lifting for us in a very public trial, all of the discovery that is done will be very valuable, invaluable almost, to every civil attorney who is working on a civil case, which I believe we're about at 14, 15, outside of the other attorney who recently said that he has 50 individuals. And I don't know if he actually has 50 people or if that's a shock value number. I'd be curious to see once that filing comes out. I haven't seen it. I do know other attorneys who have several individuals that they are in the process of filing a complaint for. I'm in the process of filing the complaint for another victim and fielding calls from other individuals who I may take on as clients. I've actually spoke to multiple individuals, but did not take on everybody as a client because I was unable to verify what it was that they were saying, not because I didn't believe them or believe that what they were saying to be true. And that's why I've also expressed at the beginning that Mrs. Wright needs to seek legal counsel, not only about things that she's saying, things that other people are saying that she's repeating, only because a lawyer will go and do a certain level of due diligence to make sure that there's a good faith basis that the claims being asserted are actually true. But I never thought that Mr. Combs would get bond. I do not feel it would be advantageous for him to take this to trial, because it would only destroy, not destroy him financially, but also let's even pretend he were to get off everything, which I absolutely do not see him being victorious in a criminal trial. The feds have, I believe, like a 97 point something success rate. He's pretty much shooting blind in that situation. His attorney is not doing anything to help him either. And some of the public statements that he's been giving is actually turning public perception more negatively towards Mr. Combs. Not that I'm trying to help him at all in a legal sense. However, when we talk about criminal law, when we talk about the feds this is not a state case, this is a federal case. When we talk about their success rate, the federal government, especially the Southern District of New York, we're talking about people who aim to kill is the best way I can put it. They are successful. They are the leaders in the field. And anything that comes out, any discovery, any testimony, any depositions that come out will be used in his civil cases, which I don't think he's going to want, because that's all he's creating evidence for us to use. And to the point that, while I don't want to acknowledge Vlad, the point that he made earlier about being heavy-handed in terms of any settlement, I do agree to that, only because one of the charges and the main charges is a RICO. And a RICO carries a life sentence, not just a 25 or 40 year or whatever. It's a life sentence. And if we think about how RICO was created in New York to take down mafia bosses, mob bosses. And that's what Mr. Combs is. He's a mafia boss. He's a New York mafioso boss. And the RICO law was created to take down people like him. So if he were to take a plea deal, if only to save himself any potential liability in terms of things that could be used against him in civil court, I can't possibly see him taking less than 25 to 30 years in a plea bargain. However, if I was him, that would be the only option I would have and the only option I would take.
Absolutely fascinating analysis. Thank you very much indeed for joining me, Ariel Mitchell-Kidd. Appreciate it.
So y'all, what do y'all think? This whole thing is absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane. But here's the problem, right? They're going to have to try to weed through people who were actually victimized and individuals who are actually having buyer's remorse. What were you told when you went to this party? That's going to be asked. What were your intentions when you went to this party? That's going to be asked. This isn't about blaming or victim blaming. This is about weeding through the garbage so that you can get to who's the real victims. Because the problem is, if you attach the wrong individuals to this case, you risk damaging and destroying the entire case. All because a few people decided they wanted to party and have fun and had buyer's remorse afterwards. You can damage the case. And then all of it is for what? For nothing? Because he walks? He gets off? He gets a slap on the wrist? What is buyer's remorse? Buyer's remorse is, I signed up for this. I went because I wanted to enjoy myself. I wanted to have a good time with a superstar. But when I got back there and realized what he wanted to do, even though I did it, I felt some type of way afterwards. And now I'm regretting it because I don't like how I feel now. They're going to have to weed all of that out. Because if they don't, they're going to contaminate the case. Remember, in order for these charges to stick, what did we say before? You have to have what is criminal intent. You have to have the act that is criminal. If you have buyer's remorse, that is not a criminal act. So that will be a problem for the case number 1. But then on top of that, you have to have intent. If the intent was not to harm you, but the intent was to fulfill some kind of freaky, extraordinary fetish, that is not criminal. So do you understand what I'm saying? If they attach the wrong individuals to this case, they mess up the entire thing. Progressive one, absolutely. If Diddy want a party, you gotta tell him no. And let's think about it. I mean, y'all, we gotta be real. For those who are in the comments and those who are just watching, be real. When some of us were younger, we was a part of some stuff. Lord, Niecy B, maybe that's what we need to do for our erotic story night on Patreon. Go back in the day and pull some of them hotels out, some of them stories. Because we're not going to act like this is an isolated incident. But when we were doing it to have fun. We were not trying to force someone into something that they didn't want to willingly do. We didn't blindly lead individuals into a situation thinking it was going to be one thing just to find out it was something totally different. That's coercion. But that's why I say everyone attached to this thing needs to go down. Everyone. And it really behooves me as to why no one else has been indicted yet. Do you remember what I said on yesterday when we were talking? And I said, if you go out and you're with your partner and you decide to go rob somebody's house, the owner of that house comes out the house with a pew pew, and pew pew's your friend. That owner is not going to be charged with that friend's unaliving, but you are. So if that stands true, all of the people who knew about it, all of the people who watched it, all of the people who protected it, all of the people who held on to videotapes, phone calls, messages, all of the people who were paid off ought to join in this indictment. And if you don't think that's how it happens, check this out really quick.
Stars will stay behind bars.
In this case, it was a team effort.
Since we first reported this story back in September, this popular social media couple was just convicted of murdering a 29-year-old man. We now know why authorities say they did it and the family members they took down with them. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates Updates. This was a complex murder investigation.
It was a team effort.
Said Special Agent in Charge Joe Montgomery of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations.
When someone is killed and we don't know who has done this, we call it a whodunit.
He says in the end it came down to these four suspects: 18-year-old Deja Collins, 26-year-old Darius Woods, and 23-year-olds Jonte Collier and Eric Dodds, who are well known for their lives chronicled on social media. About 800,000 followers on TikTok, and they do pretty well on OnlyFans.
And you hurt somebody in our community, this team behind me, we are going to do everything that we can to ensure justice is done.
August 1st, 2022, police were called to a mobile home in Rossville, Georgia, a small town near the Tennessee border. Inside, a lifeless 29-year-old Dakota Bradshaw.
He was known for always having a smile on his face. He graduated near the top of his class in high school, and he was hoping to pursue a career in cybersecurity.
Witnesses told police they heard gunshots and saw two distinct vehicles speed off shortly after the incident, a red pickup truck and a dark-colored sports car that we now know is the focus of this case.
It was a very nice car. It was a late model Dodge Challenger.
That's David Dunn, Jonte Collier's defense attorney, who spoke to the Shade Room exclusively. In court, he says that it was revealed that a man nicknamed Day Day was staying with Jonte and Eric at their home in Huntsville, Alabama. Day Day somehow stole the Dodge Charger that belongs to Collier.
He admitted that he had stolen the property. He also admitted that he was a drug addict and that he had lied to the police on several occasions.
But Day Day didn't know that there were two Apple AirTags placed in the vehicle. One was hidden, the other one was attached to the car keys. Day Day drove about 100 miles to that friend's house in Rossville, Georgia.
Ultimately, Jonte and Eric were able to locate exactly where the vehicle was parked, and to go to that location. And that's where the incidents occurred.
They took that red pickup truck, this Dodge Ram seen here on social media, and located the car themselves. They brought along their family friend, Deja Collins, and Dodds' older brother, Darius Woods.
Deja gets out and goes to the stolen vehicle. She has a duplicate set of keys. She gets in that vehicle and she drives off in it.
Prosecutors got Deja to testify in exchange for a lesser sentence.
As she was leaving, she heard shots, but neither she nor anyone else said they saw who fired the shots. One of the shots went through they all went through the wall of the mobile home. One of them went through the wall, through a cabinet, and then hit the young man inside in the chest, killing him.
Bradshaw died a short time later. His girlfriend, who lived inside the home, wasn't harmed.
There's no evidence or indicator even that he was in any way connected with Eric or Jonte.
But the big question, who fired the shot? Dunn says that there was no evidence that his client ever fired, but the jury didn't buy it. I drove up to the Walker County Courthouse and got the official records. On May 23rd, 2023, Jonte Collier and Eric Dodds were both found guilty on 2 counts of felony murder, aggravated assault, and other weapons charges. Darius Woods faces the same charges but has not been tried, pending the outcome of a separate federal case against him out of state.
The jury reached the verdict, which is not one that I agreed with, but that's their job, not mine.
John is okay. I am okay, you guys. I am okay. Everything is good. My baby will be home soon. He is not harmed a soul, you guys.
As we reported in our original TSR Investigates, this was the last in-person post from Dodds the day before he was arrested and charged.
Me and Jay is okay, and we'll be back together and back posting very soon.
It's not going to happen anytime soon, although there has been some posts on TikTok thanking their supporters. This caption on April 2nd saying in part, quote, "Unfortunately, we are not home yet due to a lot of lies and false information on a crime we did not commit. We are being mistreated and bashed on a daily because of our skin color and sexuality." And now we did reach out to Dodds' defense team. We're still waiting to hear back, but both Dodds and Collier are expected to be sentenced June 29th.
This is what I'm telling you guys. You cannot commit a crime with someone else and you're the only one that goes down for it. Where are the indictments for everyone else that's involved? Are they trying to build cases? What are they doing? Everybody's so hush-hush. Hollywood is hush-hush. The entertainment industry is hush-hush. Hell, I just saw a case on Garth Brooks that I gotta cover tomorrow. So the whole music industry, the whole thing is corrupt. Bring it down if that's the case. Pull it down. Too many people with too much power, with not enough EQ. No emotional stability, no mental fortitude, no mental aptitude, nothing. Just power and money. Yeah, exactly. Like I just said, Zach, power and money, like Scarface said. That's all we care about right now. Power and damn money. Because how else do you have this many victims? Victim after victim after victim. And for those who weren't victims, how do you have so many people that willingly walked into a situation for a come up? Does no one want to work hard anymore? No one wants to build anything from the ground up so you can look back and say, hey, my name is on that. I did that. Something you can pass down to your children, to your children's children. We just building an empire of hoes and pimps? Is that what the world has come to now? Child. For all of you coming in, you might see another live. We will get to that live as soon as we leave this one. Because all of this beauty that you see is created in OBS. OBS does not have a panel, an automatic panel setup like StreamYard does. So once we end with the stories on here, we're going to go over to StreamYard, start that live. It does say midnight, but it'll probably be starting a little late, but we'll go over there, and that's going to be an open panel because I want to hear your thoughts on this. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, join one of the memberships so that you can join us over on Discord when we go over there for our movie nights, for our kickback nights, for our game nights, fun nights, whatever nights we decide to have over on the Discord. So consider grabbing one of those memberships as we're celebrating our road to 1K. We almost there, y'all. But the next video we're going to get into is this new victim that has come forward. And I want to know what you guys think about this one. Okay? Let's get ready. Y'all know all these lawyers sitting around saying, please, somebody dial my phone and mention Diddy's name. Please. Just say you was there. Say you was around the corner. Say you drove by. You know lawyers all over these United States of these Americas. Definitely overseas, because Diddy did a lot of traveling overseas too. So if they can get cases picked up overseas, you know lawyers are sitting back like, yeah, somebody please call. I want to know how many of y'all think a lot of this is just a money grab. Zach, not 1-800-Diddler. I'm going to add stream elements to this so that I can start posting y'all comments on the bottom. You know, with OBS, just real quick, we gonna get back into our show, but all of the scenes, you get that creative freedom of expression. So like the desk you see, I created it. This screen that you see me on, I created this. This gold water in this road to the Champagne City in the back, you know, all of this. So if you are one of my confidants and you are a creator or an influencer and you want to know how to use OBS, OBS is phenomenal. It really is. The only thing it does not have the panel feature integrated into it. Outside of that, It's the bomb, I'm trying to tell you. So if you want to learn how to do it, and you are subscribed to this channel, send me an email at champagnesecrets@gmail.com, and let's get into it. Let's do some stuff with these lives and videos that we're doing when we come forward before the people, all right? Can y'all do me a favor and like the video, please? That would be so helpful. It would bless me so much. Do y'all know how much I have to conquer my social anxiety to turn on this damn camera and get on here in front of y'all after I done created all of these beautiful scenes and put them together so that y'all can have some enjoyment? Y'all can hit the darn like button for me. At least, please, people. Now let's get on with the show. Please back out and hit like. Thank you. And y'all, why she repeat the question to answer nothing? Have y'all noticed that? Majority of these lawyers out here, they're not going to answer your question when it comes to this Diddy case. Because there's too many lawyers involved in this right now. They don't want to let nobody else know what they got on the table to possibly mess up their client getting the biggest outcome of this. These lawyers are answering nothing. They're putting nothing on the table but a bunch of this person said this, that person said that. Where is the proof? Show me the tapes. Even if you can't show what's on the tape, show the tape and show that it's labeled such and such and such and such. Show us something. You done charged the man with a RICO. Show us what the proof of the RICO is. This is another one of those situations to me. For the most part, for her, something doesn't quite feel right. I'm not saying that she wasn't abused. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying something doesn't quite feel right. I don't know what it is. But that's what you're going to run into with this case. So many people coming out. A lot of these people just have buyer's remorse. You got more than you bargained for, and now you regretting it. You went to do something that you didn't expect it to go that far. Now come on now, y'all. Let's be grown. What my intros say, grown discussions and bubbly banter. We grown over here, so we need to talk grown. Let's think about it. Tell me, ladies, you've never gotten ready to be intimate with a man and he tried to put your ankle behind your neck and pull it back around your throat. Something ridiculous. And you, whoa, sir, hold up. No, let's keep going. You gonna like it. You gonna like it. You let him keep going. Now you sore, can't move, can't think. You didn't like what you did and now you regret it. Y'all, so I'm the only one that has had regret sex before. Just me. See, y'all don't know how to be honest. That's the problem. That's the problem. People don't know how to be honest anymore. It's okay to identify until you don't identify. That's the problem. A lot of this, when it's all said and done, yes, there's gonna be a lot of victims that come out of this. There's gonna be a lot of victims, but there's gonna be a lot of people too who willingly participated and regretted it afterwards. The question is, how many on one side and how many are on the other? So here's my question, right? Why a lawsuit and not criminal action? Unless statute of limitations has expired. But why a lawsuit and not criminal action? If she's crying the way she's crying and is as distraught as she is in this video, why not file criminal action? Wouldn't you want to see him arrested, in jail, in prison, locked up? Yeah, get the money, but why is there no criminal action attached to this lawsuit? Or is this just the beginning? And this is why a lot of people think it's a money grab thing. This is why people think that. For a lot of people. Because all they see is lawyers coming out talking about lawsuits. Hell, does he have any money left? With all the lawsuits that's already been filed? Is there a lawsuit left? Y'all, this is crazy. But I told you I was feeling some kind of way about her video, because it's just something that makes me feel like, this might have been one of them situations. See, you have a lot of young girls. Let's talk about it. We have a lot of young girls now that want to chase the bag. They want rich and powerful men. Until they realize a lot of these rich and powerful men don't see you as anything but a treat or a trick, a piece of meat to exert power and control over and throw you to the wayside when they're done. They're not looking for, like the song say, love and affection. No. They looking for somebody to party with. And then you get caught up. And how we say? The devil will take you further than you want to go and keep you longer than you want to be kept. When all you want to do is chase the bag. That's the problem. That's all we care about right now. Chasing the bag. The next name brand. Who's securing their future? Right now, I'm creating a 30-day workout plan so that all of my champagne gang and all of my confidants can assist in helping one of my confidants reach her goal that she needs to reach. Why? Because we're a community over here and we care. One of my confidants ended up in the hospital. She got a phone call, not on a private number. Because we care. What happened to caring? What happened to guidance? We talk wisdom, empowerment, encouragement over here. That's why anytime you come to one of my videos, the first thing you're going to get is an affirmation. Why? Because people need to be encouraged. People need to know that you don't need to limit yourself or belittle yourself for a quick come up. People need to know that. People need to know that you can work hard and establish it too. Hell, Bezos established Amazon out of a damn garage. And he is one of the richest men in the world. Why? Because he worked for it. But nah, not us. We want everything fast, everything quick. Stuff that's fast and quick breaks easily. It has malfunctions. And the problem is too many people raced and ran to the top and didn't know what to do when they got there. You put money and power in the hands of immature individuals, and this is what we have. Diddy's situation. Sexy Reds, Sukianas, Krishan Rocks, Zeus Network. Because we put money and power into the hands of the immature. And they don't know what to do with it. they don't know how to handle it. It's like putting a loaded gun in the hands of a 6-year-old. Nothing but devastation is going to follow it. And all of this was going on while we were being entertained. Guilty. I'm guilty. I liked a lot of these people's music. Hell, I don't know who the hell to listen to anymore. Can't say gospel. Half of them flipping their damn wigs too. We got to do better, y'all. But I had my questions, and I was perusing the streets of Instagram, and I ran across this video. And I want you to check it out and tell me what you think.
It's a lie on me. That's all I'm saying.
Big Joe Sherman wants you to look at his face and listen.
I don't know this lady from anywhere.
You've never met her.
Never in my life.
He's talking about this woman, Thalia Graves, who appeared at a highly promoted news conference last week with attorney Gloria Allred.
The trauma of the assault has taken a toll on my mental health.
The attorney for Graves announcing a federal lawsuit claiming that in 2001, the then 25-year-old was drugged and bound and viciously raped in the Manhattan headquarters of Bad Boy Entertainment by music mogul Sean Diddy Combs with his bodyguard and head of security Joe Sherman.
I'm not questioning her integrity. I'm questioning her claims against me. I wasn't the head of the security. You got the wrong man. I've never seen you. I've never did anything negative with you. I've never been in the same room with you. Not only wasn't I there, I wasn't even in New York.
Sherman says he did security for Bad Boy Records in the 90s, but wasn't working for the company in 2001.
Here's me and Mariah Carey.
Sherman provided us with his personal album of photos with celebrity clients he says he's protected over the years.
Me and Beyonce.
He says he did see Diddy at industry parties after Sherman left the company, but there was no relationship. Big Joe maintains he is being set up by false accusations.
Her and whoever that she's in cahoots with was orchestrating a money grab, and she wanted me to be part of that money grab. It says it right in her texts. And she wanted to get Diddy.
Sherman showed us texts from an Instagram account starting last November. He says his team has linked to Graves. We confirmed the connection. The first text asked if Sherman was a security guard for Puffy.
She confused me because she kept saying, "Are you Big Joe?" I said, "You're on my Instagram."
When she asked, "Are you Big Joe?" what did that mean to you?
That means that she don't know who I am.
The text asked him to call the number and goes on to say, "If you will be my witness against Diddy, then my attorneys will leave you out of any proceedings because we have statements that you physically showed over 8 people, videos of me and you to people in the studio." Sherman responded, "I don't know what the expletive you talking about. Know who the expletive you are." He was still named in the lawsuit. Was there any video?
Not only was there never a video, I never saw the woman. I'm nothing but a scapegoat for this BS. Because I wouldn't get Puffy and lie on Sean Combs.
We reached out to Allred asking about the texts and Sherman's denial that he was involved. Her email response, "The complaint speaks for itself. Our client looks forward to her day in court." Allred's lawsuit describes Sherman as being involved in a company that produces and distributes pornography.
I don't show nude women.
He says his media outlets publish urban rap magazines that often feature scantily clad women, arguing the photos are similar to ones he's posted on social media.
Am I wrong for having fun on my birthday? Yes, I did all that. I'm single. You can call me that. But I never disrespected or seen this woman in my life. Come on. It's a money grab because they told you it's a money grab. And she knows that what she did to me destroyed my family, destroyed my livelihood. I can't get a job.
Sherman's legal team says they plan on filing a counterclaim in the near future that will likely include defamation. Combs' attorneys have not yet responded to the lawsuit. Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
Yeah, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. But this is what they're going to run into. They're going to run into a bunch of people who are looking for a money grab. A bunch of people who were at the party. Diddy smiled at them, and that was SA. Diddy hugged them, and that was SA. This is what they're going to run into, because people are money hungry. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but I'm saying those are the issues that we're going to run into. And I know, here's the thing, right? The women's crowd will want you to just agree and believe everything that a woman comes out and says, because you're a woman. You're supposed to be a girl's girl. Well, if being a girl's girl means that I have to agree with your bullshit, then no. I'm sorry. That's not even how we operate. That would be like me seeing you driving down the road on a bridge that has a chunk missing out of it, and there's nothing but the lake or the ocean underneath it. And I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm just going to let you keep driving and run off the road and crash into the water because I'm a girl's girl. Nah, some of y'all need some people to give you some wisdom, to look you in the face and tell you, baby, you going the wrong road. You need to change. Nah, you doing too much. See, that's the problem. We don't have anybody in our lives telling us we're doing too much. That's the problem. Diddy didn't have anybody in his life to tell him, bruh, you doing too much. Why? Because they were too busy being entertained. They were too busy enjoying the show. And that's what we doing. That's how we going through life right now. We're too busy enjoying the show. Too busy being entertained to look and listen for wisdom. We don't want that, because if I tell you something that's against what you feel your best interest for yourself is, then I'm an op. You know, that's the term. Because I gotta agree with everything that you say and do. No, you shouldn't go to that party. You know what happens at that party. Why would you go? Why? No, you shouldn't hang out with those individuals. You know what those individuals are into. Why would you go? Why? No, you shouldn't go do that, because you know what that might lead to. Why are you gonna go do it? Too many people out here with nothing to lose. So if I ain't got nothing to lose, I don't care if you lose everything. We're the people who are going to raise a standard and change the standard that's been set. This whole, it's your body, you can do what you want to do with it. No. It's a whole lot of people with rundown bodies that will tell you otherwise right now. But see, the problem is it's not too many people out here speaking wisdom. That's the problem. Or you got people trying to speak wisdom but perpetrating like they're perfect. And because you're perpetrating like you're perfect, all of your flaws are put on display. Hell, I ain't no different than you. I struggle every day that I get up. I do. Some days I have anger issues. I do. Some days I want to have the get back. I do. But wisdom says, when you get done, how is it going to benefit you? What you're getting ready to do right now. Somebody that's viewing, in those 53 that's watching. That thing you getting ready to do right now, how is it going to benefit you? The Bible says all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. It might be lawful for you to go out and party, but how is it going to benefit you when you end up like this? How does it benefit you? Because you want to hang around the rich and powerful. You want to hang around so that you can potentially hook up with someone with the bag. But you didn't count the cost to see what that bag would cost you. Y'all, we got to do better. But that's okay. That's what Champagne Secrets is for. My confidants to tell you. This community over here is for individuals who want to do better. I want to do better. They want to do better. They help me do better. I help them do better. That's the way that thing works. Because you got to be surrounded by people that's reaching for more than you are. Because a lot of this that's going on is because that's what they reached for. But they regretted it after they got it. So y'all, listen. This is the last story, and then we're going to head over to the StreamYard because I want to hear y'all opinion on this. So I'm going to drop the link once we end this live and go over to the StreamYard so you guys can come up and we can have a conversation. Because over here, it's not just about hearing my voice. I want to hear y'all voice too. Because y'all got something to say, and I want to hear what you think. All right? So we know on yesterday when we watched the video, Jaguar Wright was talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce and how they allegedly tied into this. Well, I was perusing the streets of YouTube, and I saw a gentleman who was talking about Beyonce losing followers on Instagram. So I had to go over to Instagram and see by myself, and babe, y'all listen. Y'all Queen Bey. First of all, how many of y'all think that she's intertwined in this? And one of the things that I kept asking myself is, why isn't she speaking up? Why isn't she saying anything? But then I remembered what I said to myself. One of the things that we have to understand is Beyonce sits at a different table. She doesn't sit at the table that a Suki Red and a Suki Red, Lord Jesus, a Sexy Red and a Sukiyana sits at. She sits at a higher table. So there's a different standard. So she can't respond to everything. That's why she doesn't. Part of me is saying Beyonce needs to come out and clear her name. The other part of me is saying, no, maybe she needs to shut up, because a lot of times when you come out and try to clear stuff up, you actually make it worse. What do you guys think? If this is you in this situation and you're Beyonce, what do you do when you're being attached to something as salacious as this? Y'all check out these comments, because it looks like the BeeHive is starting to turn on the Queen. What y'all think? People saying I rebuke you. People saying it's gonna come out. Now you still got them followers, because y'all know how y'all do. Y'all will follow some of these celebrities straight to the gates of hell, through it, down the stairs to where the fires of hell are created, if they told y'all to go. Some of y'all fandom is a little psychotic. The way y'all don't go as hard for some of y'all family members the way you go for these celebrities. And these celebrities would know who you were if you walked up to them and slapped them in the face. But y'all willing to go 10 toes down for these celebrities. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is a conspiracy between them all? Do you think the bigger fish in this situation that everybody keeps talking about is Jay-Z, allegedly? Do you think the rumors are true about Beyonce? Queen Bey to some of y'all? And look at all these comments, because you don't see the BeeHive firing back. You know, some of y'all fandoms, you can't say nothing negative about y'all people, because y'all be ready to go to war. Call up Hillary, bring the artillery. Y'all be ready to grab them things. Talk about Nicki too much. This thing keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And before it's all over with, before it's all said and done, who knows how many other people are going to come out in this situation? How many other people? What is it going to take? What is it going to take for us to change, for us to do better? Because as I stated before, my biggest concern in all of this, these were somebody's children, someone's daughters, someone's grandchildren, someone's sisters. Do we no longer care? Do we no longer think about protecting our own? Or are we so in a rush to get to the bag that I'm willing to let you go through it, because I know if you go through it and I'm by your side, you're going to bring me up with you, no matter what you had to do to come up to get it. We got to stop thinking like that. We got to start wanting better for each other. I want better for every single one of you who are watching, listening, and commenting. I want better for you. But at some point, you got to want better for yourself. That's the problem. We get to a place where we're so tired of struggling that we're willing to latch on to anything that looks like success in order to not struggle. So if I gotta go on OnlyFans and shake my ass, I'ma do it. If I gotta go to a Diddy party, I'ma do it. If I gotta do something strange for a little piece of change, I'ma do it. Cause I want the bag, I want the come up, I want the celebrity, I want the fame. If I gotta go on a show and act like a rabid ass animal and have my hair and my lashes and my face cut up and teeth knocked out and black eyes and hair pulled out and clothes destroyed, be drugged through the sand and through the mud, bleeding. If I gotta do all that just for the, I'ma do it, cause I want the bag. That's what we do. When are we gonna want better? Fuck the bag. When are we gonna want better? Because the bag doesn't teach you how to be better. But being better can teach you how to get to the bag. The bag that can last a lifetime. The kind of bags that produces generational wealth. But y'all ain't connected to the right people. Y'all not. Y'all like being connected to mess too much. Everybody want to party. Everybody want to kick it. Do y'all see what partying and kicking it gets you? Because you just want to fit in. What happened to people wanting to stand out? I don't want to be like everybody else. So if not wanting to be like everybody else means that the Empress stays stuck in these YouTube streets, so damn be it. Because my God is a provider. Know your worth and then add tax. If these young girls would have known their worth, half of them would not have ended up in these situations. Know your worth. Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away and know when to run. Pray that God increases your discerning spirit so your spidey sense will start tingling when something just don't feel right. When something don't look right. When people aren't moving right. But you gotta start wanting more for yourself. Wanting better. We so addicted and hooked on the toxic. And then we get confused when toxic happens. It's what you reached for. You can't pull an orange off an apple tree. So you can't complain when you get an orange. In areas you were never supposed to be in. You can't. Want better. Do better. Live better. Chase your dreams. Not something, you know what? Thank you, Holy Spirit. Some of y'all need to take your mind off trying to get in a relationship. Some of y'all need to take your mind off trying to go on a vacation. Some of y'all need to take your mind off trying to enter this party life. You know what some of y'all need to do? Some of y'all need to get a notebook. And you need to begin to dream again. Write out your dreams. You know why the old saying says, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything? Because if you don't have anything you're chasing after, you'll chase after anything. You'll chase after anything with hopes that that anything that you're chasing out after becomes the something that you need. Until you realize the something that you needed was on the inside of you all along. Who you are, who God has created you to be, it's on the inside. It's not on the outside. Stop chasing fame and fortune. Chase yourself. How about that? Chase your worth. Because some of us have lost it. Chase your value. Because some of us don't know it. Chase your destiny. Because some of us ain't dreamed it. So we're running after other people's destinies. But y'all, we're getting ready to go over to StreamYard for the other live. That's almost an hour late. But it's going to be an open panel because I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. We'll be talking about the Beyonce situation. We can get into and y'all, what I meant to tell you, people wonder why Jaguar Wright is so untouched. I have a video on my channel, and I think it's called Jaguar Sopranos on my channel. You want to know why can't nobody touch Jaguar Wright? Because her bodyguard is a made man. Who going up against the mafia to get her? Who gonna stop her when she got Tony Soprano daddy? And he said, if you touch a hair on her head, you better make sure I'm deceased. They can't touch her. So all people can do is talk. You know what? That's the way you ought to be before we get ready to get out of here. You ought to be so that you can't be touched. All people can do is talk. That's what you should be striving for. But hey, y'all, do me a favor. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that like button and the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. I mean, it's free. All of this beauty that you see on this screen was created by me in OBS. So like I said before, if anyone watching, if any of my confidants, and I know some of my confidants are creators, and you would like to learn how to use OBS, listen, OBS is free. StreamYard is $44 a month. So I try not to use StreamYard unless I'm doing a panel, because I ain't paying it. But if you like to learn how to use OBS, these backgrounds that you see, I created all of it, all of it. If you'd like to know how to create, send me an email at champagnesecrets@gmail.com. Do me a favor, if you enjoy, consider joining the Champagne Gang and the FizzFam. Grab one of those memberships. we do have a lot of fun. We have the Patreon. You also get access to our personal Discord. Over on the Discord, we do game nights, we do movie nights, all of that. And it's just exclusive for us, so nobody else can come in. But it's a community of individuals who like to come together and encourage each other and laugh, have fun. Listen, we learn life lessons from their stories. And we give our opinions on it. And we take those situations and see how we can do better for ourselves. See, y'all ain't used to stuff like that. Y'all used to just talking about the mess, not being blessed from the mess. Goodness. Y'all didn't even know that was possible, did you? But thank you for joining me today. You guys have been wonderful. Everyone who's watched, everyone who's liked, everyone who's commented. You guys are amazing on this road to 1,000. And as we get ready to go, always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Ta-ta.